Okay, boys and girls, this is what you voted on in the YouTube community tab. This is Batgirl. So, she's almost done printed. Let's get over and check out the finished print. Well, this is what you guys voted on the community tab on YouTube for HobbyLink International. Our next build, after we're done with the Romulan Bird of Prey, will be the Batgirl 3D figure print. So let's go over this print and show you how it looks. So let's start off with the base of this kit. It's a rounded base, it's got a nice curve to it, and some little dashes over here. After I printed this up, I thought about it. I probably should have printed this in clear, and then I could have lit these up with yellow lights, which would have been nice. On the front, it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but there is Batgirl here. When you do print this out, it kind of looks like on the CGI picture, I guess you would call it, that the letters are all the same depth. They're really not. It actually starts deep. It gets a little raised and goes deep again. So this will be interesting to paint this up. It's a nice base. I printed it out. I just put a ton of little holes in the bottom to make sure all the liquid came out, all the resin, and then once I cleaned it to make sure all of the alcohol came out. Nice little base. I just got to sand this down and that'll be good to go. The first piece we're going to look at, and this was my only problem child with the whole print, is the cape. I did it at a normal 45-degree angle and I put just auto supports on, which was a little ridiculous. And this one, actually this one kind of made an L shape. It bent back and came through, so that was my first failed print. So the second time I did it on a, well, it's actually was facing this way. I did it on a 45 again. I added my own supports in here, and for some reason it still did the bend, and this one bent down and looked really weird. So finally I went all the way down to an 11-degree angle, and I just super supported the whole back of it, and I finally got a clean print out of it. There's a lot of marks on the back, but it's on the back of the cape. I'll sand all this out. We'll use a little Bondo, and that'll be fine. I'll get rid of all these holes as long as the cape finally came out nice. The cape is nice. It's very thin, so it's lightweight. You're not gonna add a lot of weight onto the back of the model, and it'll fit on her nicely. So next up, we'll take a look at her boots. I'll just do one, but these are both boots. The laces look really nice in them. They came out printed really well. And this one has the little key on the bottom. This way you can put it into the base. The problem I have with every print so far I'm doing is the keys never fit. So I'm gonna have to open this up a little bit or shave down the key on the base. So we'll take a little bit closer of a look. I have to pull off a little support down there, which I forgot. I got to be really careful with that. But if you notice, he actually put little laces out here, and those printed really well. I thought I was going to lose those and have a bad time with this, but those printed out beautifully. The marks across the shoe right here, and then the sole of the shoe. I only have a little cleanup where the supports are on the back, and this will be a really, really nice piece. Up next, these are the two ropes that go from her hands behind or underneath her kind of, and then come back out to the Batarang over here, or the bat lasso, or whatever you want to call it. These are very thin and fragile. I just used auto supports on these, and we have the marks at the bottom. I'm gonna have to be really careful sanding these or they're gonna snap. The bat symbol came out really nice. I just have a little cleanup on the edge there where a support was to make sure this didn't go bad. And at the end here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little hole there, so you can attach it to the hand that has the male portion that would fit in here, but I think I'm gonna have to open this up too. And this is just the other piece of rope that goes underneath her leg and comes around. We're gonna talk about this rope a little bit more once we get to her hands. And here's Batgirl's little pouches that she has on her hips. Looking at the cartoon, if I remember right, I think this one, the smaller one, has another little pouch by it, separate on the belt. But that's no big deal. Two pouches are fine for me. It'll still look like a cool build. They're flat. I printed these solid. Didn't have to do any kind of hollowing out or anything like that. No need for that at all. Has nice little detail on here. So once they're painted up and shaded in, they'll look pretty good. Next up are two tiny pieces, and they're very thin and fragile. These are the belts that go around her hips. This one goes around the back, comes to one of the pouches, and then this one comes around the front and leads to the other pouch. I've been trying to test fit them, so once the body is together, I'm really gonna have to test fit these to see where they go. Hopefully I don't break either one of these and have to print them out again. If I do, it won't be a long print, but still be careful with these parts if you print them out. They are delicate and very fragile. This is Batgirl's leg band. This goes on her right leg, and it goes in between. The top half of the body will go here and the leg will go down below. Again, I just printed this out solid. Has the little pentagon to push into the top of the leg and the bottom of the leg, and it's pretty clean all around. The print wasn't bad. Very little cleanup that I have to do on here. And here's her right leg. She has her bent knee, and this is where the rope, I think, comes behind there and then comes around the other side. Again, a very clean print. It'll be nice to paint this up. A sharp line down her knee, because on her outfit, I think one side is a black or a dark navy blue, and then you have the blue on the inside. We got to decide how we want to paint this up. I just put a couple holes inside the Pentagon over here and one here just to make sure everything drained out, and one hole down at the bottom. The other leg and the other half of her lower body is all in one piece. Her leg is straight, drain holes everywhere. This way all that stuff would come out, no problems with that. I do have some support marks back here that I have to sand off, get rid of those, and that'll be smooth. No problems at all. I was testing the keys, and like I keep saying, the keys don't fit properly, but we're gonna put her together best we can towards the end of the video. Here's her hair. This I printed, I hollowed it out, I put a hole up here, and then I put a bunch of tiny holes over here. I don't know if you can see them. This way I can drain them out, and this is easy enough with Bondo to get those closed off and smooth, just like the hair should be. And then also I have my support marks down here. Even though this is hollow, this is a very heavy piece, and I don't know if I'm gonna have to pin this to the back of her head or if CA is gonna be able to hold this alone once it's in the slot. Once we get to that portion of the build, we'll figure that out. If we have to pin it, we'll pin it and make sure that this doesn't go anywhere. Here's the upper portion of her body. She has the bat symbol on the front here, which came out really nice. We'll get a closer look at that in a minute. We also have her pockets over here, and on her collar she has some detail. Again, I put all my supports in the back. This way I can clean this up without a problem. It won't look bad at all. Get that nice and smooth and fill in any little divots that we have to fill in. And here's a closer look at that bat symbol. That really popped really well on the printer. It looks really good. Can't wait to paint that in yellow. That'll really come out and stand out very, very well. And you can see the little bit of collar detail up here. So the next thing I want to talk about is the hands. As you can see in her right hand, she has a whole bunch of rope that'll connect to the other pieces of rope that we've made. Here's the little male portion that the female part will go in there, and then that'll come up and around her back. And her left hand has another piece of rope in it, both with a male portion on this side, a male portion on this side. This way the ropes will come around and hopefully they'll stay in here. But now looking at this picture, you can see the artist of this sculpt actually does not have the ropes in her hands. So now I'm curious, did he not put the ropes in her hands because of gravity and they didn't stay in there well and he just took them out? You can tell he really didn't sand those things out because it would really leave a mark in here. It looks like he may have made another set of hands. This sculpt does not come with two sets of hands. I don't know if he did know that the gravity was messing it up, but she does look cool with no ropes in her hands, so I kind of wish he would have gave you the option of two sets of hands. He could have, you know, maybe drawn these up again and just remove the ropes, and she would have had her fists, you know, ready to fight. And last but not least, here's Batgirl's head. You can see it's got the big eyelashes in there. She's got her eyebrows in there, nice little smirk, cute little nose over there. He did put a couple earrings on both ears. I did not see that in the cartoon. I don't remember that in the cartoon, so I may sand those down, or I may put yellow over here for the earrings. Back of the head is where I had the supports. This way I didn't have to worry about that. And I put one drain hole at the top. This way, when it's printing like this, upside down, everything can drain out and I don't have a failed print. That'll be easy enough too to fill that in and get it all nice and neat. Now, the thing I'm gonna have trouble with is I'm very bad at eyes, so I'm gonna have to look up some tutorials on how to do cartoony eyes, because she's gonna have those big cartoon eyes in here. If any of you guys do paint eyes, or you have reference or good videos to go watch about painting eyes, please put them in the comments below. I would love to go check those out, especially if it's your channel. Here's just to give you an idea about the keys, how poorly they fit. That's really far out over there. That's really a big gap. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of work on the keys to get these things going right. I actually don't like the pentagon keys. I prefer a square key, but it's up to the artist what they want to use. It's just, for me, a lot easier to do the square keys and get those in than these. Now, the next problem I'm having is trying to test fit this cape. The pins don't, or the keys don't really get around to get over to her shoulders. It hits the back of her neck. Even with this one support here, that's really not in the way too much. Having trouble. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is shaving these two keys down over here and then just super gluing it in place. That should hopefully cover up where these two marks are. If it doesn't, we'll take a little Bondo, fill these in first, get those nice and smooth, and then we'll get the cape on her. So 3D printing is like any garage kit or any kit that has problems with it. You're gonna have to do some work to get it to look good, and that's what we're gonna do with this one once we get to this build. Well, that's it for the Batgirl overview. It's a very cool 3D print. I'm glad I bought the file. She came out really well. Like I said, the only trouble I had was with the cape. Finally got that figured out. We got a lot of work to do on the keys to get everything to fit, but this is gonna be an enjoyable and fun build. Like I asked in the video, if anybody knows good techniques or good videos for doing cartoon eyes, please let me know in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. And if you haven't yet, and you like this content, please hit a thumbs up on it. It helps spread it throughout to other modelers, and it helps the YouTube algorithm show it to the right people. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you as part of the HLI community. And speaking of the HLI community, check out the HLI community tab right here on YouTube. We're gonna have more and more of polls because you guys chose this Batgirl, and this is the next one we're gonna build. So keep an eye out for the videos coming up on this Batgirl build. Again, thank you so much for all your participation on the channel. Thank you for your generosity and your support of HobbyLink International. Without you guys, we don't have a channel. So everybody, have a great weekend. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves out there. We'll see you all soon. Take care, and bye-bye, everybody.